Welcome to the Network Build Grow podcast, the show where business owners, entrepreneurs, and professionals share their stories, lessons learned, and powerful strategies for building relationships and growing their circle of influence. With Melissa Taylor, your host, each week we'll bring you actionable insights to help you build a better network and a better business. Let's dive in.
Hello, Miss Sarah Clark. How are you today?
I am great, Melissa. How are you?
I'm doing great. I'm doing great. It's so great to have you here on our podcast. We have been friends and colleagues and stuff for quite a while now.
Yeah, and he finally made it on.
Finally made it on. Yes. So some people don't know what you do. So why don't you just kind of give us a little quick synopsis of what you do?
Sure, absolutely. A joke a little bit that I'm a chaos and sludge wrangler. But essentially what that means is I help small private medical practices turn their chaos into calm by offering fractional practice administration services, which is just, you hear fractional all the time, right? So in the medical space, it's just that admin that oversees the entirety of the practice to make things run smoothly in the operation sense of things.
That's great because the doctors don't have time to deal with all that.
They don't. And I'm finding once they realize that they don't have the time and that there's somebody that's available to help them, they didn't realize, putting up a shingle meant running a business and not just taking care of patients. And when they're like, right, I can just do the patient, or they can't just do patients, right? But if they can do the majority of patient care with minimal of the other part and just have a high level view of what's happening in their business, they don't need to do two jobs. They have enough to do.
Yeah, they have enough to do. They have enough to do. Now you're also a speaker, and that's part of your lead generation for your business and educational thing that you do. Tell us a little bit about how that plays a part in your business.
Yeah, it plays a part by bringing awareness, bringing them actionable takeaways that they can go back to their office and utilize almost immediately, or helping them to understand why things are important that they do it, and bringing that thought leadership to them. They get stuck behind in the technology space, right? You always don't think medical is going to be the most technologically advanced. It's going to have all these things. We hear about all these things, but when you're actually in the office, there's a lot of paper. There's a lot of copy of a copy and a lot of inefficient processes, because in the everyday life, but we hear about the technology that's really great, but that's in these enormous large corporations that have all kinds of money to spend on it, and a whole IT division and a research and development place where they can spend that time. But your corner primary care physician doesn't have that, and they need those resources and somebody to come to that sits in that space that can help them to understand what it takes to stay ahead of the curve, or at least like in the curve with the other people, and being able to speak to them, understand their pain points. I have a clinical background as well. So being able to understand the pain points that they're seeing in their clinic and helping develop a strategy for them, taking it to the masses, but then also speaking to them on small, intimate settings with like education for their staff members, as an example.
Yeah. Yeah. So it increases their staff, like their staff works more, I guess, better,
employee
more engagement, and then as well as patient care and
patient satisfaction is huge, right? Where everything sort of works together, right? I talk about the 4 Ps: the people, the patients, the processes, and the paperwork. And paperwork means all of the stuff that they have to do.
all the things.
All the things, right? It's not all paper, but computer didn't have a P. So it's all cyclical, because why are you in business? You're in business because you want to take care of patients. Well, if you don't have any patients in your office, then you're not going to have a practice. But what does it take to take care of those patients? People. Well, if you don't have any people in your office, you're not going to have any patients in your office. If your people aren't happy in your office because your processes are terrible, you're not going to have any people, you're not going to have any patients,
Yeah.
right? If your paperwork is terrible, right? So it kind of all goes together. So we try to button up all of those things because sometimes just a small little change can affect all of the things that happen in a day-to-day basis in a medical practice.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for sharing all of that. Let's switch gears a little bit and tell me how networking has played a part in building your business.
I'll take a step back a little bit.
Okay.
So I initially, I'm social and I'll meet people, I'll talk to anybody, we'll have a nice conversation, good time. But I never equated it because when I started my business about a little more than 6 years ago, I was always in the tasks of the daily business, even in a C-suite role. I was always doing the task. There was never like learning was one thing, but networking was never really part of what I did. And so I didn't really understand what the value of it was, right?
Okay.
So it was a learning path for me also, which is great because if you just can get a little bit better every day, then you're just getting better and you're learning something.
Yeah.
So when I first started, I said, "Oh, I don't really need to do this, right? I know the people in the industry, and that's fine. That's what I'm going to do." And then I realized when I started working by myself, wow, this is kind of a lonely space. Who could I talk to bounce ideas off of, or who's heard about A, B, or C? So of course, that was right in the middle of COVID. So a great time to start a business.
Yeah.
And so I joined a group and it was okay. And I learned a few things, but not industry specific. So I looked somewhere else and I found Network Build Grow as one of those things. And it's evolved and I've tried a variety of different things, right? For me, it's relationships. Developing a relationship with someone is different than developing a contact.
Oh, yeah.
How I feel, right? Having a relationship with someone. I have a newer client that I've known him for years, but he has been courting me, if you will, for almost 2 years to determine we've been developing this relationship together, not ever really talking about working together till about 4 or 5 months ago. And he said, I want to find a way that we can work together. And that's cool. But I was fine to just share, hey, what do you know out there? What do you know about out there? I am part of a mastermind group. And I knew that one of my clients needed clarity and something that was outside of where my expertise laid, because he also wanted to be the CEO of his medical practice. So he wanted to do all of the things, right? But he also wanted to have a tech company as part of his medical practice, right?
Yeah.
I had developed a relationship with someone who I liked personally, but I'd also seen some of his work professionally. So I was able to bring that person confidently into my client space and has furthered my relationship with my client, has established something else. And so to have a client tell me, this person was a home run for me. You knew what I needed and you delivered it. I don't get paid any extra for that. It was this need was developed. And because I went out and networked and met the right people in the right time, the right space, I took the time to find this couple of right groups. And I'm very intentional about where I'm spending my time because we all have the same amount of time.
Right.
And we're all busy, right?
Yep.
But I make these 2 groups are a priority for me. And because of that, I've developed relationships that are mutually beneficial, but not just it as a referral. It's not meant to be as a referral type of network. It's meant to be relationship driven. I learned more about health tech startup than I ever thought that I would need to do, which is great. right? I've learned more about like other little things, but then he also learned something that he didn't know about, right? So it's just really being intentional and being able to connect, for me, to connect other people to solve problems that maybe I can't solve for them.
Yeah, because it still makes you kind of the star. Like you said, your client still held you in high regard. And so if he ever comes across somebody that needs what you do, you're going to be top of mind for him. So it
Yeah.
still is good customer service.
Even though that task, I said, gosh, I don't know how to do that.
Yeah.
Right. And sometimes that's okay. You have to say, gosh, I can't help with that. But hang on, I got a guy.
Yeah.
I did. And I had a guy and I said,
yeah.
just have a conversation. I think he can steer you in the direction. I think I understand your pain point and your need.
Enough.
I think this is going to be the right connection for you.
Mhm.
And it was.
Yeah.
Which was great for that person too.
Mhm.
Right?
Yeah. So to use an old school term, you had a deep enough Rolodex
Exactly.
to be able to find the right connection for your client to make
Yep.
it work. And then you, like I said, you're still the go-to person for him.
Yeah. And now that person then is like, you understand what I do.
Mhm.
You understood the pain point of the other person. How can I help you?
Yeah.
And it's not just somebody that was like deep in the Rolodex. It's an active relationship.
That's great.
Right? An active relationship. I had somebody introduce me to someone else that said, hey, I think the two of you would just get along. And I said, okay, that's really nice. Thanks.
Yeah.
We spoke. We had a virtual meeting. She
Mhm.
lives in Nashville, outside of Nashville. We had a virtual meeting. We spoke for 2 hours on the first time that we met. It was like somebody, like kindred souls.
Wow.
So we were online dating, right? We met online, but because
How'd your
I
husband
then
feel about that?
understood, right? Yeah, I understood what she did, and I understood the pain points of a meeting that I was going to, and was able to bring it up to the executive director of the event and said, hey, your attendees, your membership has expressed these types of things to me. I met this woman. I feel confident in her. I want you to meet her. And so then my contact put her through her program that she does. She was invited to do a keynote, speak, and a breakout session, rave reviews from the session. The scientific chair said, we're inviting her back next year.
Wow. That's so
Right?
great.
And then I'm like, and I have a cool new friend.
Bonus.
Yeah, I have a friend out of it.
That's
So I
bonus.
try to bring people in the circle that, in my space, I get inundated with financial people that want to reach out and say, oh, hey, I saw you're in Charlotte, and oh, I have a friend that's in Raleigh. What a fun connection. I offer financial services. Do you want to refer your clients to me?
Yeah.
No.
I don't know you. I don't know you.
I appreciate the nice, warm intro, but you didn't even put your last name on this email. Like, no, I don't know who you are. A cold outreach, and I appreciate it. But that's not my clients as my name. My name is on as my company name. So my name is first and foremost what people see. And it's a relationship to me, an active relationship, just like it's part of my work, right?
Yeah.
Is I reach out to several people every week. If I haven't heard from them in a while, like, hey, I just wanted to check back in, or I saw this thing that I knew you were talking about. I thought it might be of interest to you, article, or hey, I just wrote a blog post about whatever. And send them some information on that. Just not intentionally to stay top of mind, but just to provide them extra help.
Just to further the relationship.
Yeah. Just like, hey,
Yeah.
I was thinking of you today, right? Like, that's it. That's all. Just, I was thinking of you today, and here's what I've got for you.
Exactly. Yeah. If you network for your business, you already know follow-up is everything when it comes to growing relationships and driving success. But here's the thing. Most of us want to follow up well. We just get stuck. Staying consistent, keeping it personal, making it stand out, it's hard. That's why I use NetEffect.io. It makes follow-up simple, cuts through all the noise, and helps me stay on top of every relationship without dropping the ball. I never miss a follow-up, and honestly, my network wouldn't be the same without it. So check it out, neteffect.io. And right now, you can use promo code NBG50 for 50% off of your first month. neteffect.io, your secret weapon to unforgettable follow-up. Okay, so let's do some rapid fire networking questions.
Okay.
Ready to help some people? Okay, here we go. So I got to put my, I'm getting older, so I got to put my little glasses on here so I can read these. All right. How do you decide which events to go to and invest your time in?
Topic,
Okay.
timely, and calendar.
Calendar. Yeah, calendar. And that's important because if you can only go to an event, a group, one time in like 6 months, you're not going to develop relationships. You have to be able to go consistently.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like I know our network build grow events, right? Sugar Creek in Charlotte is my favorite brewery. So anytime that if there's an event that's topic, and timely for me, like if it's relevant at that moment in time, or I know that I have something coming down the pipe with it and it fits in my calendar, like I try to make sure that I'm there. One, because of the location.
Yeah. You love the brewery.
One for the location, because it gives me a reason like, oh, I have to go to my favorite brewery today and I want to support them, right? I want to support them. So I'll get a beer from there as well. So shout out to Sugar Creek. And but when things are at a consistent cadence, then I'm going to make sure that I'm there.
Yeah, that you're there. Absolutely. Okay. All right. You've already given us some ways to add value to your network without expecting anything in return. Some of those ways, a blog article, sending them different things. But what's your favorite way to connect with somebody right after you meet them?
Right after I've met them. So I've already had the initial conversation.
Yeah, you met them at an event. You maybe had a 5-minute conversation, something like that. And you think, oh, this might be somebody I want to get to know better.
Yeah. So I stalk them a little bit. I'll go, for my business, I really just use LinkedIn. I mentioned to you pre-show, I got a new phone. So I don't even have Facebook or Instagram even installed on the new phone, which is fine for me because it's a time suck. But I'll go and research them a little bit, maybe check out their business website. What do they do so that I have an understanding of what it is that they do. And then that week or within a week, I will reach back out to them and say, hey, it was really nice meeting you at the whatever. Maybe some kind of crossover, something that we had a conversation about. Lots of times for me, it's a dog, or something that's in their business that related to the conversation. Or, hey, you told me it was your first time at Sugar Creek today. What did you think? Did you stay afterwards? What did you think about it? You should check out their live music. Something that for me, it's not always business related unless it was involved in the conversation. But usually it's just a get to know you on a personal basis, quick little, unless somebody says, I don't want emails, just only text me. Like, okay, well, that's fine too. But just a quick little note, hey, checking in and make sure you have my contact information, etc. Quick little, how do you do?
So not necessarily a one-on-one with every single person, just really a calendar. Hey, I'll see you at the next, see you at the next event kind of a thing.
Yeah. Or, right. It would be more of a one-off if there was like, oh, we're really already in some of the very similar types of things. And there was something that really stuck out. Hey, I'm going to be in the whatever area to meet somebody. Would you grab a cup of coffee before that? But usually it's just, add them to my CRM. If it feels appropriate, do a little research on them so that I have a better understanding of what they do, and then just try to develop their relationship.
Yeah. Over time.
The
long-term game. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
So, okay, so you brought up social media, and
Mhm.
actually, I don't think we've had a guest on here where we've talked about the importance of having an online presence. If you go out and you use LinkedIn, and I think you have to know where your business is, right? Like I use
Right.
LinkedIn as
Yeah.
well. We do have a Facebook presence, but it doesn't. It's not. We're more of a, just different audience.
Yes.
But when you go out to say LinkedIn and they don't have a profile or like, it's not active. Like, how important do you think it is for people to keep their social active, relevant?
Yeah. If it's their business and I go to LinkedIn and they said, I work at ABC firm, and maybe it's even their own thing, but
Mhm.
then it's the grayed out little building of the
Yeah.
company name, and there's not a company page, which is free to
Yeah.
link.
Yeah.
I am a little snobby about it. I think, "Oh, they're not ready." But then I check to see what their posts are. Do they have good content in there? My recent little story, a couple weeks ago, I received a appointment request, right, through my website, got an appointment on my calendar,
Mhm.
and I always ask, "Hey, thanks for scheduling the time. How did you learn about me?" This
Mhm.
gentleman was calling me from Texas.
Okay.
Now I've been through Texas, but I don't have any context really there in the space. And he said, "Well, this is what I was looking for. You came up." He said, "As a matter of fact, you are number 1 on Grok."
What is grok?
Grok is the AI portion of Twitter X.
Oh, I gotcha. Okay. Yeah, I
I
don't do much
don't
Twitter.
I don't I don't have a personal Twitter or X account. I have never been on it. I don't use it.
Interesting.
I use LinkedIn. And
Yeah.
I have an email list, right, that goes out. And I have a website where I own my content. So what I put
Mhm.
on LinkedIn is on my website in case the LinkedIn universe blows
Goes
up.
away. Mhm.
But through speaking with some marketing professionals that I know,
Mhm.
that's the thing, right? Just because it's the Twitter version of the AI agent, it's scrubbing everything. And because my content
Oh.
is relevant, and
Mhm.
it was mentioning the things that he was looking for. But he said, he's like, your name came everywhere. Well, there's
Wow.
not a lot of fractional practice administrators.
Yeah, I
Seems
guess
to be a
not.
big, but it is important because now it's not just SEO. It's the AI overview that is
Mhm.
that's pulling your content from
Mhm.
everywhere. And if you're updating it on a consistent basis with relevant information,
Yes.
knowing your target audience and all of those things that Melissa teaches everybody,
Everybody.
um, you can rank up. I do not pay for any sponsored. I don't
Mm-mm.
boost posts. I don't do anything. I'm a solopreneur. I don't have a large agency that I need to have 1,000 book clients on there. So that was very interesting to me. So for me, that's why it's really important because if people are looking for something, everywhere is looking at you. Whether
Yeah.
you know they're looking at you or not,
Yeah.
everywhere is looking, and there's Grok. He said, "You're number 1 on Grok." I was like,
It's so funny. Yeah,
"Cool."
but it is true, and I do the same thing as you. When I'm done at a networking event or whatever, I go back and I do try to connect with people on LinkedIn. And sometimes it takes people a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, a month, 2 months to even accept my connection request. And if you're in business, like, you need to stay up. You need to stay on top of those things because otherwise you kind of go, are they really a professional? Are they really interested? Are they really doing the things it takes to build a relationship with other people?
The one thing I have found recently, maybe in the last, say, 6 months, 5 or 6 months, is my LinkedIn inbox gets inundated with garbage.
Yes.
So and I do, if somebody sends me a LinkedIn message and they just blind send it,
Mhm.
and maybe I don't know who they are, so maybe they're doing their research too and like, "Oh, I want to connect with you." but they don't say who they are, how they know me, what's going on, why they want to connect, just a bink. Now, if you and I weren't connected and you just sent me bink, okay, like, yes, fine.
Yeah, because you met me or whatever. Yeah.
Because I already know you, and like, how are we not connected here, right?
Right.
But if you're reaching out to me for the first time, you can add a little note in there that says, hey, Sarah, I saw your blog post that you just put out today. It resonated with me. I'd love to connect with you.
Yeah. Or if you just got back from a networking event, hey, I met you at such and such a networking event.
Exactly.
Thought we should connect here. Yeah.
If you send me a message that's just like that banking thing, or I work in revenue cycle management in medical practices, how can we partner together? I don't know.
We can't.
And you're offshore. My VA is offshore, right? But I don't have a problem with offshore. But most insurance contracts in the United States do not want you to work with an offshore company for HIPAA privacy policies, right? So they're a dime a dozen. I'm not partnering with anybody until it's vetted, like, all 7 ways to Sunday.
So
stop selling me on LinkedIn because I'm not buying.
Yeah.
But
even if I met you at a networking event, don't sell me on LinkedIn.
Please don't, because I'll unfriend you. There used to be a commercial years ago of two like an older lady, and they're having a conversation, and she's got a bunch of pictures on the wall, and somebody says, "What are you doing?" She goes, "Well, it's my friend wall. It's like all the pictures of her friend."
Mm-hmm.
And they're like, "That's not how it works." And so she reaches behind her and she pulls her off, throws a picture of her friend on the floor. She's like, "We're unfriended." Well, I'll unfriend you. Don't blind message and just try to sell me out of the gate, because I'm not buying. And that makes me feel like you're using an automation to do it. You're using a bot to do it, which is fine if you set it up the right way. But I recently did get messages from somebody that I have a personal connection with, sent some messages and said, "Hey, I have a question about whatever." And he answered it. And then the next day, I got an automated response, an automated message that said, "Hey, just wanted to check in and see how things are going. Want to set up some time?" I was like, delete. So that's me. Just, you got to stay on top of it. And I know you're trying to do something to be professional, but it made me feel very cold, in that the connection that I thought we had was maybe not as good as we had.
Yeah, you got to be careful with those automations and how you have them set up, especially for networking follow-up.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Well, this has been a wonderful conversation, and thank you so much for taking some time out of your, I know, crazy busy schedule. I know you've got a lot going on, and just really appreciate you taking the time.
Yeah, wanted to make it a priority because I love what y'all are doing with Network Build Grow and the value that you're bringing out to the community that's there, so that we can network, but that we can build, and that we can grow all of those things together. Hashtag plug.
There you go. I love it. Thanks, Sarah.
Thank you.
Thanks for tuning into this episode of the Network Build Grow podcast. If you enjoyed today's conversation, be sure to subscribe, leave a review, and share it with a fellow entrepreneur or professional. And of course, if you're not yet part of our community, visit networkbuildgrow.com to connect with us. Until next time, keep building and keep growing.